We often treat happiness like a wage. If we clock enough hours of hard work, struggle, and stress, we assume we will eventually earn a paycheck of joy at the end of the tunnel. This traditional thinking misinterprets how human psychology actually functions. By waiting for the perfect circumstances before allowing ourselves to feel good, we effectively delay the acquisition of the mental and physical tools required to improve our lives. Viewing joy as the mechanical track required to move forward in the first place changes the entire premise of the pursuit. To see how this works, we have to look at the functional purpose behind why we experience emotions at all. Negative emotions have a clear survival function. Facing a threat, fear and anger force your brain to zero in on danger, shutting out distractions so you can fight or flee. Barbara Fredrickson's broaden and build theory reveals positive emotions serve the opposite evolutionary function. A genuine moment of joy or amusement acts as a biological trigger, physically broadening your focus to absorb novel information and explore new possibilities. Fredrickson tested this through a randomized controlled trial. She assigned one group to practice daily loving-kindness meditation, while a control group received no intervention. Over several months, her team tracked both groups, meticulously logging their daily positive emotions alongside their long-term personal resources, things like social connections, physical health, and a sense of purpose. This timeline graph shows the result. The meditating group experienced a spike in daily positive emotions, and weeks later, that initial spike predicted a measurable, predictable increase in their permanent physical and social resources. You can see this in action through a simple workplace example. Imagine a person who feels a sudden, fleeting spark of genuine curiosity about a task outside their normal duties. Because they feel curious, their focus broadens. They decide to spend an hour exploring that unfamiliar task rather than sticking to their routine. Through that exploration, they figure out a new software program or solve a unique problem, locking in a permanent skill they didn't have that morning. The chain of events is clear. The fleeting emotion triggers the behavior, and the behavior leaves a permanent resource in its wake. These moments of joy provide the raw materials from which a life is constructed. The math of this spiral places an immense premium on the earliest years of adulthood. Psychological resources, social ties, physical resilience, and skills behave like financial capital. They compound over decades. Starting a positive emotion habit in your 20s gives these resources 40 years to multiply. Starting at 40 cuts that compounding time in half. Neglecting this upward spiral early on means arriving at middle age with fewer transferable skills and fewer close relationships, right when the demands of life peak. However, forcing these emotions carries a specific risk. Research by Iris Mouse at UC Berkeley shows that pursuing a constant state of happiness as a target can actually produce psychological dysfunction. Valuing extreme happiness too highly creates an impossible benchmark. Perfectly ordinary moments start to feel like failures by comparison, which actually lowers overall well-being. The scientifically backed alternative is much smaller. This week, pick one specific minor activity a day that you know reliably sparks a microdose of genuine positive emotion for you. Right after you do it, pay attention to your behavior. Document exactly what you do differently, what you notice, or who you reach out to because of that subtle shift in mood. Cultivating a small moment of joy today is a direct, compounding investment in the stronger person you will become tomorrow.